Fun. Okay, patch 67.4 notes. Welcome to patch 67.4. It seems like just yesterday we introduced you some of these heroes, but the change is in the air already. In this patch, we have significant card and hero changes, so buckle up and come take a look. Midas, old. You need 2 copies to upgrade a character, but can never find treasures. New, you only need 2 copies to upgrade a character, but they don't give you treasures. So now you can get quest characters. Yeah. Doesn't enjoy a quest or 2, the new version will now see quest characters in the shop and can gain treasures by completing those quests. So this change is sort of twofold. In one, Midas is now obviously able to get treasures, which is a pretty big deal. Even if the treasures that he gets are less reliable than being able to triple stuff. Like, quests are harder to do than just triple units. He now has access to, well, whatever treasures he might need. The other thing is that Slay is one of the builds that scales the best with upgrades. Like, doubling Grimsoul, doubling Baba Yaga are like some of the more impactful upgrades in the game. But Midas hasn't really been able to go Slay reliably without Lancelot or Bad Moon, because those are the only ways to get health in the archetype. Now Midas being able to pick up Lancelot opens up Slay as a potential avenue for him in the mid-game as well. I don't actually know which of those two things is the bigger deal. Hey, Rosa, thanks for the tier 1. Thanks for the 2 months. Welcome back. Midas now best Slay hero? He could be. He could be. It's more, Slay is a good build when you have this sort of ability, just because Slay scales so well with upgrades. Doubling Arthur is nicer. Yeah, it's a lot easier to go Royals, too. Yeah, a lot of the builds that want upgrades badly didn't quite work with Midas before because of not being able to see quest characters. It's easier to flip your Toad Princes. Ironically, playing a game as Midas, yeah. Yeah. Okay, so Sphinx no longer has an extra spell slot. I think a lot of people saw this one coming. Sphinx came out of the gates a bit stronger than we wanted. A combination of multiple free spells plus selection. It was a riddle that wasn't difficult to solve at all. This change keeps the free spell aspect, which can pay off handsomely, but makes it a little trickier for the Sphinx to find the spells they are looking for. Now, on one hand, the extra spell slot was sort of the interesting part of this hero. But obviously the two halves together. So the extra spell slot is what Potion Master does. So that, like, is still in the game. It's just this hero ability is so uninteresting. I don't know. It's really nuts when it goes off. But, like, you're playing this just to try to spike a high roll turn. And your high roll turn... Like, you're probably not even getting the high roll turn. I don't know. Sphinx was obviously too good. I don't like this change. Seems like this hits a little too hard. Better thing, I'm gonna be getting the second spell slot on 6. That's interesting. It makes, like, finding XP earlier still harder, but it makes the hero not just worthless when you get to 6. I don't know. Here's, like, she's pretty trash now. Yeah. I mean, yeah. You have to find the XP, too. And it's so much harder to find the XP with 1 spell slot than 2. The extra spell replace the character. I don't know. It doesn't really solve anything. You still have those same high rolls available. I think that's what you want to remedy. Like, you want to see fewer of Sphinx hitting level 6 4 turns early, which happened way too often with this version of Sphinx. Yeah, I feel like kept leveling after 6. I don't know. We'll see. Just get 5 HP soon. I hope not. 5 HP does not seem like the solution for this. We'll see where she ends up. So Good Boy no longer buffs himself. Notably, it also doesn't interact with Phoenix Feather. I didn't realize that when reading this change in the beta. I thought it only affected Trophy Hunter and Copycat. But apparently the Phoenix Feathered Good Boy counts as the same unit. So Feather Boy is also off the table. Well, not necessarily off the table, but not as good as it was. Yep, still works with Mirror, because Mirror is a different one. What if it's Phoenix Feather Mimic or Phoenix Feather Redupe? Yeah, I don't know. That's why I was a bit confused. I know Phoenix Feather has weird interactions with, like, Romeo and Juliet, too. But the way Feather works with Mimic makes me not sure how this is supposed to work. Just need to get 2 good boys for Copy Boy. I mean, you say that, but Copy Boy was already a comp that died before it came together a lot of the time. Max Piper down to like 3. I rarely went Copy Boy on Piper. The strength of Piper is just like being good early, and then you can do whatever from there. Piper doesn't really care about any specific builds. Now, okay, Piper losing like the Hippo line and not being able to like Shoulder Fairy's Echo Wood is a bigger deal than this, but because what are you looking for in the mid game on Piper now for the extra shop slot? Animals are kind of medium at level 4. Bad at level 4? Can I say bad at level 4? Still probably Hippo SF. It just Hippo SF doesn't go anywhere. Hippo's really good just without SF. Animals are fine mid-game if you find Sporko. Sort of starting on 5 though, right? Like, Sporko Baby Bear is alright. On 4 you get to pick up the Hippos, but the Hippos are only working with what, like Wolf in Sheep's Clothing and your Black Cats from earlier? Peep, I guess. Dwarves seem to be good again. I've had a lot of success with Dwarves last patch. Granted, I think the way Dwarves play now is a little bit different. Even prioritize Hippos now with the Fairies change. Yeah, that's the thing. Like, the thing that makes Hippo good now is that even if you are not presenting the strongest board on level 4 because you're growing Hippos, it makes up for it when you get to pick up Shoulder Fairies into Echo Wood and win from there. But now what's the payoff for going Hippo? You get a bigger Hippo? I guess picking up Fairies on 5 is still the same, it's just you don't get the big payoff at the end. You can do like the Croc Good Boy stuff with your Hippo, or the Croc Bearstein stuff. Hippo didn't change. Shoulder Fairies changed. But a change to Shoulder Fairies is a change to Hippo because the 2 cards are so related. That's the thing, is there a way to, like, what are the comps that still want to have big Hippos in the end comp? There's the Bearstein thing. Some random Good Boy comps can probably support it, if you've got attack on your Good Boy. But, like, the only comp that is excited to have a giant Hippo would be, like, the Bearstein Croc thing. Take an Hippo, you'll take SF when you see it's still right. Yeah, but will you take the Hippo on 4 when the payoff isn't as good? Or do you just roll over it now? Because right now you take Hippo because of the ability to get Shoulder Fairies and Echo Woods later on. Friendly Spirit gets the same change, so no longer will we see Friendly Spirits randomly buffing themselves, thank God. The most frustrating way to lose mid-game brawls. Here's the big boy, Jorm. Whenever another one of your characters triggers a Slay ability, +20/+20 this brawl. Slay +20/+20 this brawl. So this version went live. How exactly... So, if I have Jorm and Choop under a Baba Yaga, and my Grimsoul dies, it's 50-50 whether I get my Choop procs and my Jorm procs, or just Jorm procs, right? Because the Grimsoul can either go on the Jorm or it can go on the Choop. That's correct. That sounds so miserable. Okay. Fun. he was certainly one of the most disappointing level 6 characters. Apex Predator when it comes to slay. You want to have a bigger part in those builds. The new version now rewards you for doing a lot of slaying and can grow as epic as the card deserves. No matter what Jorm procs. Yeah, but the issue isn't that no matter what Jorm procs, it's that sometimes your Lancelot isn't going to grow for a Brawl. Who cares Jorm grows during that Brawl? Okay. Sometimes meaning... Yeah, it's just a coin flip. I don't know. I was hoping there'd be a more elegant way around the coin flip, but I guess not. Bossy is back from the dead. Sick clip art. Your other dwarves have +3/+3. So this just made it live from the beta version. Huh. Seems like this overlaps so much with Angry. They're on the same tier and everything. Isn't it lower level as priority? No. But not as far as I'm aware. Grimsoul just targets a random one. Some redundancy in Dorps is nice. Yeah. I guess. I don't know. I guess I could see this sometimes being better than like a Sporko. Bearstein at 5? Just didn't like Bearstein at 5. As I said when we were talking about the patch notes, a lot of stuff often does not make it to live. That was one of the things. Now this white change is really cool. So now instead of white ever needing to be in play, you just get permanent boosts on all the dwarves that you buy. Complements the quest pretty well, too. She makes you want to buy dwarves in multiple ways. This also plays the correct way with Tweedledee stats. It makes the Tweedledee a 7/3 rather than an 8/2 if it was the other way around. How good is buying a 7/3 Tweedle? Get a 7/3 and then a 3/7. It's like just kind of fine at level 4, right? Even just standalone. Of course, she comes to instant pick on 3.0 and 3.1. Yeah. I don't know, at least she's not gonna be a 2020 at 3.2 when you high roll and it just wins every brawl in the mid game. So I guess picking up Tweedledees wins every brawl in the mid game for you. I imagine it goes to +2/+4. It's usually how this works. I guess I can check in client. Collection, characters. Wait, isn't there a button to see golden? Upgrade it. There it is. Yeah, 2/4. Another big boy. Great Pumpkin King is now a level 5 2/2 with the same last breath. Pumpkin is now a level 5 character, which means it'll be easier to put together the evil pumpkin comps. How will you make use of a cheaper pumpkin that you can see earlier in the game? Note, the Great Pumpkin King, like every other character that summons characters, cannot summon copies of itself. Okay. So, this change is big for a few reasons. One, it means you're going to start getting chonked by upgraded pumpkins a lot sooner. So there could be big damage spikes coming down a bit faster than you'd expect. But also, the pumpkin itself, now its spawn pool and where it's summoning things is going to be a little bit different. Where before, pumpkin summoning a rotten apple tree into the slot that it was in was pretty common, and usually that's just not where you want your apple tree. Now, when the pumpkin dies, Medusa's in its pool, and the Medusa will be attacking immediately on the next turn, assuming the pumpkin crashed in and killed itself. So, I almost feel like Pumpkin summoning a 4 instead of a 5 makes his pool better. He also summons Sporkos in the right spot. Whereas there's just so much junk at 5. If you didn't get, like, an upgraded Siren, you usually weren't happy with what the pumpkin itself was putting in play. What other 4 evils are there? Level 4. So Medusa, Monster Book, Sheep in Wolf's Clothing, Sporko, Choop. As long as you're not getting Choop, you're like happy to neutral about anything that Pumpkin is summoning. Oh, Vulture. I guess Vulture's bad. Vulture's pretty bad. There are what, like 3 5s? Aeon, Yaga, Neon, Siren, Apple Tree. There were a lot of 5s. Baba was always pretty underwhelming, but I guess Baba and Sporko are pretty similar. Sporko usually going to be a little bit better. Aeon sometimes gave you discounted spells and was attacking immediately, but wasn't helping much for winning the combat. Neon was whatever. Siren was sometimes a blowout. Apple Tree was usually bad in the Pumpkin slot. Yeah, I guess it hasn't changed too much. Just a slightly different pool. The big thing is just the getting hit with upgraded pumpkins a lot sooner. Do not be surprised to randomly be taking 20 damage in the mid game. Or mid-late game. Early-late game. I don't know, what's 5.2? Is that a late game yet? It is now. Pumpkin gets scammed a little easier now. A little bit easier. I don't know, anything that deals 2 to a unit in the back row is usually going to deal 10. Like, Doom Breath was killing it either way. Lightnings are killing it either way. I guess you can't upgrade it to get out of range of that now. Yeah, Fireball. Fireball can sometimes come up at this point in the game. Especially with, like, 9th book and monster books. Okay. Yeah. 3-2 Baby Dragon they still have. Okay, so Shoulder Fairies. Old stat change triggers at the start of Brawl. Now stats update in shop and lock in at the start of the Brawl. This change mainly impacts Echowood, as it no longer sees Shoulder Fairies get huge stat bumps at the start of the fight. We like Shoulder Fairies at 5, and rather than up at the 6, we prefer to limit the massive stat gain interaction with Echowood, since the combination is proving to be a bit too strong. Note that these stats lock in once the Brawl begins, but even if your good evil characters die, the fairies won't lose stats. So, it was brought to my attention that this doesn't work with Ashwood Elm. And that's a big deal. So if you want Shoulder Fairies attack, it is a lot harder. You have to have like an upgraded Neon or upgraded Siren to get 20. Or have something scaling, obviously. No, it's just characters in play. Because start of the fight. Siren didn't SF thinking he'd win the fight, but it spawned 1-1. Wait, really? That's a bug, right? Oh no, because it locks in at the start of the Brawl, so it's not a temp stat thing. It would be like if you yoinked a Storm King. Because if you yoinked a Storm King, you get the Storm King as if you played the spells. Basically, Fairy's bad for everyone now. I don't know about that. There's probably times where it's worth picking up Shoulder Fairies just for mid-game tempo. But it doesn't fit into endgame comps as easily as it did. I'm sure there's some comps that still want it. Like, some Slay comps might be able to fit it in. If you're going late with, like, a scaled Lancelot or a scaled Chupacabra, you might slot in a Shoulder Fairies. Though I guess with Jorm, maybe not. I don't know. 9th Book of Merlin is now level 6. This move is a quality of life move, more than a power level move. When combined with Mimic and a board full of mages, the 9th Book experience isn't one you'd recommend to your local book club. Too many spells flying around in the situation we didn't want to happen at a rate that it was happening, so the 9th Book is going up a level. Makes sense. A lot of people complained about this treasure in the Discord. Horn of Olympus and Evil Eye both go down a level. Horn of Olympus to 4. Does it change anything? It's cool with Heartwood Elder, but who wants to be in trees? I can't believe I'm saying that out loud, but who wants to be in trees, unironically? Did you just read the previous patch notes? Ugh. Horn seems strong with Sporko. I mean, it's an extra 10 attack on your board. It's like a sting. River Wish plus Baba easier, sure. True. The player base for this game? I don't know. You can look at Steam charts if you really care. Evil Eye just goes to 5. What does this one change? Obviously big for Baba Yaga. It's like the main thing you want Evil Eye for. Baba Yaga, Heartwood Elder. Okay, there's no reason to talk shit pointlessly about a game. Come on. The game obviously has a player base. If you're gonna talk shit about the game, at least be accurate. Fancy Pants is 3-3 instead of 2-2. I already liked Fancy Pants. Took it, well, a non-zero amount of the time. I took it more than I took Ring of Revenge. I can say that. It's pretty sick on Tiger. First character you buy, get +6/+6. Fancy Pants working on all the units you buy for an upgrade was pretty big too. So if you Fancy Pants all 3 of your Sporkos, you have a 15/15 ranged unit. Build your own Grumbledore. If they just added a little line of text here that says, like, pants can't go on chickens, that would be perfect. I would pick this treasure so much more. No, there's in parentheses, chickens don't wear pants. There we go. They could do a similar thing with Hand of Midas, where Golden Chicken is already golden, so Midas can't turn him to gold. Cut, Tree of Life, Hidden Cache, Hand of Vecna. Sure. These treasures are all being cut in the patch. Tree of Life either did nothing or made a fight completely lopsided while triggering tons of animations. Hidden Cache and Hand of Vecna just weren't fun enough to justify their slots. Cutting all 3 of these opens the door for more fun treasures. Yep. So the treasure pool shrunk with this patch. So the 5's pool is 1 smaller. The 6 pool is 1 smaller. And the 4 pool is +1 -2. 1 smaller. None of the fun treasures made it out of beta though. Yeah. Turns out the fun treasures weren't very fun. It's also kind of weird. I don't know, I feel like the treasure pool can be as big as they want it to be without losing too much. Where, like, with the units pool, if you make too many units, you reduce the ability to triple things. With too many treasures, you're just making it harder to assemble treasure synergies, which arguably is a good thing. Like, you probably shouldn't be able to force stuff like Hatball. It should be something that just comes up once in a blue moon and you're happy when it does. Just not sure how I feel about the reasoning of, like, cutting treasures to open up space when you could honestly just add stuff and it's probably fine. Northern Ashwood screwed you up a few times. Yeah. At least it's striking, right? I see this thing I don't recognize, I pause for a second, realize it's Ashwood Elm. Your life did feel a bit shitty. Yeah, I rarely took it, rarely lost to it. Was never super happy about it. Oh, we saw this already in our first game. So reduce bonus top shot displays, additional fixes for connection failures, end of screen, can show your characters in the wrong spot with open slots on the playmat. If you wish upon a star, win the brawl, level up to X, 1 out of 3. Unless they just fixed the Sphinx in her. I didn't even notice this. Oh. I just, like, never wish to 1 out of 3. Mordred. Hey! I swear, this happens every time you played Mordred. Just have units disappear and it was always tilting. Transforming an upgraded Brave Princess into another Slay character will cause Grimsoul not to trigger that character's Slay effect. Oh, because I guess there was some property on the card that removed its Slay. Interesting. If Monster Book or Ninth Book would cast a Fireball on the last front row enemy, it'll cast a second copy on a back row enemy. That's what caused that. Interesting. It's the Mordred change. So if Mordred summoned in a unit and that unit got Medusa'd, you lost the unit forever. That is no longer the case. Did I clarify that one? This? It was just an obscure bug that sometimes you would get 2 fireballs randomly. I did not know what caused it. I had it happen like 1 or 2 times. Okay. Well, cool patch. Let's play some more games.